Okay, we are live. I'm excited to sit down and bring you a live stream. I know the global economy right now is crashing and there's a bunch going on, so I thought I'd just jump on, take the opportunity to answer some of your questions that we really wanted to be talking about. We're getting lots of questions with business. What do we do with our businesses, in our organizations, with our teams to deal with the COVID-19 or coronavirus outbreak? So I wanted to have a discussion today and raise some points around business continuity and business risk management and what we've solved. We've cracked a bit of a code here at Best Practice to allow us to continue to operate. So I wanted to touch on a couple of points with everybody as some focus points. So it's obviously a live stream. The recording will sit there for you guys to come back to. So if you're getting the opportunity to listen in on this video, I'm going to help you with a couple of key points that I want to touch on to help your businesses to continue to operate and weather the storm, if you like, that's going to go for probably the next 2 to 3 to 4 weeks with the global economy. There's a couple of important points to note that in the last 24 hours that there's going to be significant impact on business. The first is that the global stock markets have had a significant retracement. Now that shouldn't ordinarily impact your business on a day-to-day basis because it's just about the total valuation of the asset, if you like. It does, however, poke some fear and anxiety, fear, uncertainty, and doubt, or FUD, out into the marketplace. So it shouldn't operate. You shouldn't let it operate or change the way you operate, impact the way you operate for your organization. If you actually have a look at the markets, it's not a lot of volume of trade. So yes, the prices slumped significantly or retraced quite significantly, but there's not a lot of trading volume. So it means there's not a lot of sellers. It's not like everybody is selling. It's just that there's not many buyers. And when there's more sellers in the markets than there are buyers, then the price will actually drop quite quickly. When there's more buyers than there are sellers, then the price will increase. So right now, there's just not many people buying. There's people obviously wanting to exit their stocks, and that's caused the retracement in the global markets, the currency markets, the stock markets, the bonds markets. So, from your operational perspective, let's bring this right back down into business. There's a couple of key points, important points that I want to talk to you about this morning that are best practices for your organization. The first thing is the leaders. It's really important if you're in a leadership position or a management position when there are challenges like this in organizations is to really be showing up in the same way. I see this as a great opportunity to rally your teams. I see it's a great opportunity to increase the amount that you're communicating with your teams. I've increased the amount that I'm communicating with my team via email or in our Facebook group. So I really want you to be thinking from a leadership perspective. Don't expect that the leaders will do this. Take a leadership position yourself. Take the opportunity with the people around you to create, make sure you're spreading positivity. The world's going to continue, business is going to continue, continue to do great things and start focusing on positivity. So at the moment, social media, the media, it's really easy for people to play into, anxiety and stress and negativity. I want you guys to continue to be optimistic. And that's the first thing. From a leadership perspective, be optimistic. This is a great opportunity for you guys to be really taking some opportunity to improve your organizations, work with your teams, improve the amount of communication, improve the frequency of communication, and really start listening to what people are concerned about and help them. Negativity and cynicism and pessimism take over when we don't over communicate optimism and positivity. So that's probably the first thing, which is to give people confidence from the leaders. So step in and be the leader. There's a saying that I've used for a long time, which is in the absence of a leader steps up. So you really want to get on the front foot with preventative strategies in terms of leadership and communication and do that. So my team, I've been emailing my team regularly to give them updates on our policies. Yes, the environment's constantly changing. New situations are occurring, and I think as a leader for your organizations or as a manager with people around you, really take that positive leadership position. The second thing I want you to be thinking about is obviously communicating, really just a tactical component. Right now what's happening is the hemispheres are transferring. So the northern hemisphere is transferring into summertime off the back of winter, and the southern hemisphere is transferring into winter And at these 6 monthly increments, we have flu seasons, and the flu seasons swap hemispheres with international travel. So yes, the media's cottoned onto the coronavirus, but with the cold and flu season, this is, there's 2 times in the year when it happens, when both hemispheres are in the spring and autumn transition, and it happens anyway. So the way you can prevent that is really great personal hygiene principles. Washing your hands with warm soapy water. What I just want to say is that yes, you can get a hand sanitizer, a hand disinfectant. They don't clean your hands. So it doesn't take off what's on your hands. It's an alcohol solution that will just, the alcohol will help to decontaminate your hands, but you'll still have that material on your hands. So really great warm soapy water, washing your hands properly and having good personal hygiene, making sure your clothes are well laundered and making sure that you maintain good personal hygiene practices. If you have got a cold or flu, to don't spread your germs, and so using clean tissues, to blow your nose and things like that. And I think these are little small important reminders that, in our culture here in Australia, there is still a trend towards some of the older members of the population use a cotton handkerchief that they keep in their pocket to blow their nose. That is not a great strategy for stopping the cross-contamination with colds and flu. And so you want to be encouraging people to use, good hygienic practices so that they don't spread germs. Something that I've asked for this morning in our office is a full clean of our air conditioning system. Air conditioning systems and recycled air systems can also be a way to, spread cold and flu and germs in these transitional times. So I've asked for our office and our building to have an extra service of the air conditioning. So I've instructed the team to have good personal hygiene. I've done that twice. I've asked the building managers to clean our air conditioning, and then we're also starting to think about how we can minimize the spread in our own business and also the contamination of our own team. And so we have a meeting planned once a month. It's an all hands meeting, and so we're going to be running that remotely. So the next recommendation I've got for you is to really embrace technology. Take the opportunity in your organization to really think about how can you use Zoom as a product? How can you use FaceTime as a product? How can you use Google Hangouts as a product? How can you use Skype as a product to continue to work? Right now, here at Best Practice, we're live streaming our office. We have a Google Hangout running. It's in everybody's calendar, and anyone working from home or working remotely can grab a mobile device and dial into and see what's happening in the office, so we can continue to have team meetings. So working remotely really now is a tipping point globally, or a transitioning point, to really show organizations how we can work effectively when we're working remotely with the device and technology. Just about everybody has a smartphone that's got 2 cameras. You can turn that around and you can use that in any of those mobile applications. So there's mobile Google Hangouts, there's mobile FaceTime, there's mobile Zoom, there's mobile Skype, there's all those different mobile platforms. So there's absolutely no excuse for working in isolation and working remotely to minimize the impact on people. It's actually an opportunity to really have people working effectively. We've embraced that here at Best Practice. And this is a training platform. I'm giving you information. I'm using live YouTube, I'm using live TikTok, I'm using live LinkedIn. I want you to think about how can you embrace those technologies. So as business slows down, because your business will slow down, there's going to be a ripple effect through the whole economy where cash flow is going to slow down, business is going to slow down. There is fear and anxiety in your teams, I guarantee it. It's something to consider how you can get on the front foot with communication and using systems like this. Please reach out to me. I'm happy to help people for free. There's no charge. If you've got questions about how to deploy these technologies, please reach out to me. It's now more than ever that I want to help you guys to help your businesses to continue to operate. And if you've got specific questions, if I can give you guidance and advice and direction on where to go to keep communication running with your teams and how we can help you maintain your best practices, please reach out to me and do that. Okay, the next thing I want you to be thinking about is your customers. Obviously staff are really important, but customers are really important. So really think about your service, how you can actually use technology and be efficient and maintain that. So really what you don't want to be doing is contaminating your customers. There are examples where, that might be used as an excuse to actually stop. I've heard of obviously cafes closing, restaurants closing, airlines, global conferences. I was due to go to a conference in California, in San Diego, in 3 weeks' time. We actually made a policy decision in the business to actually reduce our travel, our international travel and our domestic travel as a business, because we can do all of our work with technology. And that conference was actually cancelled about 4 or 5 hours ago via email. So I know there's these impacts that are impacting businesses all over the place, but it really now is the time to actually say, you know what, we have this amazing internet, we have this amazing technology. It's a great opportunity to actually get in and use this situation to actually work to your advantage. How can we be more productive? How can we be more efficient? There's a lot of lost time in traveling and commuting when people and fatigue. So traveling and commuting causes fatigue. And I know there are businesses that are going to be disrupted by that, but I really want you to think about that and how you can actually embrace technology to work more effectively and efficiently in the next little bit of time. So really thinking about your business continuity plan. I don't believe that you need to write a huge document. I think you need to think about what's going on with customers, what's happening, in the next couple of weeks with your organization. Have a think about the impacts. What if your supply chain slows down? What if your cash flow slows down? What if some of your key suppliers or key customers slow down? They are going to have impacts on your business with announcements like Donald Trump's announcement where he has stopped all travel from Europe to the US. I believe that trade is going to continue to flow, but we may see that the movement of people is going to be restricted. So we really want to take this opportunity to continue in this environment. If you have got questions, please reach out to me. Right now, I can't actually see the chat feed, so if you've got questions, I can definitely help you with those now. So what I'm going to do is just try and log into this feed so I can see that. Stand by. So here we go. I'm just going to drop in here. Okay, so I'm on the live stream on YouTube, and let me just quickly have a look at the live stream on LinkedIn. Let me know where you're watching from and if you have got any questions. So if you have got any questions around business continuity, please ask. And I'm just going to drop right in now into the comments. So that's what we wanted to really talk about today, is making sure that your business plan and your business management system has got those. And let's continue. Okay. Thank you, Cherie. This is my library, 240 books here on the shelf that definitely help me with what I'm doing. So this is a lot of the business knowledge that really does start to help me. So I'm just going to quickly put a note in here. So I'm in the live feed on LinkedIn there. I've got the comments so I can see that. So if you have got any questions, please let me know. Okay, excellent. So a couple of other things I wanted to point out. It did prompt me this morning with the current situation to pick up this particular book for you, which is The Hard Thing About Hard Things. And this is a great book and a great opportunity for leaders in your organization to really think about how do we manage these situations? What do we do if everything collapses? So this would be a great book to something that I really want you to think about and understand that how can we take this. So there's a great chapter here. Page 57 just talks to what do we do if everything goes wrong. So if you think that the company that you work for is going to be impacted or interrupted, then that'd be a great book to get hold of very quickly and start to give yourself some information and opportunity to minimize the collateral damage that's going to be caused in the economy. We're really not aware of how it's going to impact everybody right now, but there's definitely Denmark yesterday closed schools and kindergartens, and that's going to have an impact on parents. You're not going to be able to work because your kid can't go to school. So I really want you to think about the impacts of your supply chain and start to think about how you can do that. And this is a great book that I've read in the past, and it's something that The Hard Thing About Hard Things by Ben Horowitz. And it's something that I want you to think about because there is a great there is a great chapter there on page, I think it's page 59, When Things Fall Apart, and principles, advice, and decision-making strategies on how to work your way through that scenario. There's also the wartime and the peacetime general. There's a chapter on that and a section on that in terms of as a leader, as a manager, as a person in your organization, some techniques and principles that you can use. So that book recommendation, I think, is definitely something to consider. Hey Stan, we're just talking about business continuity today, and the things to think about with businesses. So, there are implications. So the events industry has been significantly impacted, where large corporate organisations are asking people to work from home and not attend public gatherings. The governor of California yesterday announcing, no large public, without it being necessary, public events to try and prevent this. About 24 hours ago, the World Health Organization changed the categorization of the COVID-19 coronavirus outbreak to a global pandemic. And they also, they underwrote that statement that the global pandemic is something that can be preventable, and it can be preventable with good personal hygiene, with isolation, and really elevating your game in terms of your personal hygiene standards. So it's something that I want you to consider in your organization, and maybe sending that email out to your email notification, verbal notification. Think about the effective way. What's the most effective way that you can communicate with your teams right now? How can you send out messages to your teams to get them on top of this information, and really understanding what you can do? So that's one thing we always consider here at Best Practice is we can easily email everybody, but is that the communication type that's going to have the best impact on our team? So in this situation where we've got people. We've got people that have got stress, we've got people that have got fear, we've got people that have got anxiety in our organisations, the fear of the unknown, what's going to happen with the organisation. So as a leader, now's the time to really implement those best practices in leadership in terms of stepping up. Don't get emotional about it, don't get irrational about it. Make that plan. How are we going to work through this? What are we going to do with the organisation to continue on? So Harris, Ava, I was in the beginning stages of starting my own remote accounting business. Any advice regarding a startup business? Do you think my chances are better or worse right now? I think your chances are better right now. I think that's definitely something as a small startup business. I've actually been asked that question twice. A gentleman starting a startup speaking bureau asked me the question yesterday. So I think, how is the coronavirus going to start remote startup businesses? I think now is exactly the right time to say that you are ready to be doing remote work for organizations, and reaching out to them and saying, hey, my whole business is built around being remote, so that I can help you, and I can, and it's about stepping really forward into those relationships. So now is a great time for remote-based businesses. I think your chances are absolutely excellent. I'm thinking about actually doubling down on my advertising with our organization. We have a business that can work remotely with anybody, anywhere in the world using this technology. I've been doing these live streams now every single month for 5 years. I was only doing a live stream 2 days ago. We're doing it again. I think I can train you, I can teach you, I can mentor you, I can coach you in this free format. It's something that I want you to consider. So for you, I think if your name is Harris E. Ava is your username there on YouTube. Absolutely, your chances are amazing right now. Like, get motivated, get excited, and start thinking about the people that you want to help, and reaching out to them and getting going really quickly, because I do think this is an opportunity right now to really take that opportunity. There's lots of businesses that they're in the mindset, I need to be in my office, I need my customer to come and sit in my reception area or come and visit my premises. For remote and businesses that that are helping people and going out and helping organizations, now is an amazing swipe. So it's on Do Not Disturb. So if it is something that you can consider in terms of your organization, and think about how we can how you can run that forward. Okay, we're back. I apologize for the loss of the YouTube feed. When a phone call came in on that particular iPhone. I want you to really consider, get motivated, get excited. Now is the right time for businesses that can work remotely. And so, if you are somebody like, I saw Stan made a comment on LinkedIn, he's got a great team of people, keeping them implanted in the client and doing the work they need to do, and being an internal advisor. Now's the opportunity to be on the front foot with guidance and advice on how businesses can continue to operate, and think about your customers, and think about your suppliers, and think about how you can continue to help them take these opportunities right now to get big improvements in their businesses, because there are a lot of industries that are going to be affected, and now is about the time to actually think that your customers and your suppliers are part of your team, and coming together to work together to improve process is going to be the best opportunity for improvement. So instead of standing back and sort of pushing back and creating friction, now's the best time to actually get on top of communication. I was speaking to a factory this morning about how they could get on the front foot to help their customers, because supply chains are going to be slowed down with obviously with global travel. Supply chains have already been slowing down over the last couple of weeks with importing goods from China to Australia, where we are, and that is something that I want you to consider. And I asked them to really think about their customers and call their customers and say, what can we do to help you, because we know your other supply chains will be affected. Is there any guidance or advice or consulting that we can offer you to help you? And it's that free value that is going to build great goodwill and great rapport at these sorts of times with your customers. If you can continue to add value, even if it's tangible value to your customers, hey, I know your business is struggling, how can I get in and help? With a supplier, I know your business is struggling, I might not be able to buy as much as I usually do from you right now, but let me come and have a look at your business and see what I can do to help. And it's definitely something that I'm really passionate about. So if you have a significant challenge in your business, if you're really worried about what the future looks like, please ask the questions. And I have a huge vision and view of the industry and different industries, and I've got lots of advice. I've seen lots of mistakes, I've seen lots of disasters, I've seen lots of things go wrong, and I might be able to give you some basic principles to keep you motivated and inspired to keep going, because the last thing you want to do right now is stop, because it's only when you stop that you fail. So I'm watching the LinkedIn comments. So if you've got a specific comment there, if you are watching live on LinkedIn, I can answer your questions. That's a great opportunity. The one thing we have done here at Best Practice is we've been embracing technology for about 2 or 3 years, and that's how we've cracked this code. So right now I'm broadcasting to you with a 1080p, 1080 webcam plugged into a laptop with some software so that I can broadcast live to you on LinkedIn. I've got 2 of the latest model iPhones for the TikTok and the YouTube live stream. So I think it's important right now to be embracing technology and practicing with technology so we can keep people moving. There's great communication platforms. There's Instagram, there's Facebook, there's YouTube to be communicating with your team and also communicating with your customers. So if your team, if the members of your organization are regular users of social media platforms, then use those social media platforms to communicate with your team. We have a private secret Facebook group for our team so that they can actually consume training. We have a Google Drive. We have lots of great things happening in our organization. So it is definitely something that I want you guys to be aware of, that you can use that technology. So I'm watching the comments on LinkedIn. And I'm also watching the comments on the YouTube live stream, so I've got those right here. So if you have got questions, if there's anything that you guys have got questions about, please let me know. But what I want to just reinforce that I started at the beginning of the live stream, this is about business continuity. This is about understanding I want your teams to be doing good personal hygiene. That's the best way to manage this. I've personally asked the air conditioning contractor to come and do a extra clean and service on the air conditioning for our offices so we don't spread germs. We've asked our team to be hyper vigilant with personal hygiene. We're minimizing travel with our team so that they don't get sick. I know that people pick up colds and flu on public transport, and so we're using technology with our organization to continue to operate. So we're using Zoom. Just to comment that we have a live stream running, so there's cameras and monitors so that people can actually see what's happening in the office. So anyone working from home, it's one thing to tell everybody to work from home, it's another thing to continue to manage your culture. So if you're going to, in your organization, if your organization is asking people to work from home, there's a couple of really important tactics to implement. One is to make sure there is some sort of common chat. So whether you use Google Chat or Slack or WhatsApp, to make sure there's a group chat or a text chat so that people can keep talking and chatting and you can maintain the culture and the vibe and the feeling of the organization. That's really important. And so I want you to really be thinking about that. And so, keeping the chat going, having a live stream running of your office, so anyone that is in the office and anyone working from home, you can maintain culture and people don't feel alone and feel foreign, particularly at a time when they might also watch the news, and the news will create fear, uncertainty and doubt and anxiety. And now is the right time as a leader to be really stepping up and making sure you can manage that. And so people need to feel engaged. So if you are asking your team to be working from home, then make sure that you're embracing technology. So right now we're running, I can see it from here, we're running a Google Hangout, and anyone can, at any time from a mobile device, can go straight in. It's a meeting invitation. So we run a Google Calendar meeting invitation. We invite everybody in the company to that meeting, and at any point in time, the meeting runs for the whole business day, and at any point in time, anyone can come in and out of that meeting, and they can see what's happening, and they can talk and wave and smile and participate via the live stream of our office. So please consider that as a way to maintain culture if you're asking your people to work from home. So again, just to reinforce the point, and I'll call the live stream shortly. We'll stop it. If you have got any questions or if there are any comments from anyone, please let me know. Let me just have a quick look at YouTube. Okay, let's go quickly. So any questions on YouTube, anyone watching live on YouTube, let me know, and I can help you out there. Okay, let me just quickly have a look at LinkedIn. Okay, so yeah, really a couple of things there to consider. What is your business continuity plan? What can you do to manage this? Try not to get caught up in the fear, uncertainty and doubt and anxiety that the media is creating. Try to be an optimistic rather than a pessimistic person. Right now the global vibe is that people are a bit more pessimistic. It's all, the world's going to end. It's not going to end. We're going to continue to operate. The human race is very, very, very resilient. And so what we really want to think about is how can we make the best out of this opportunity? How, when life gives you lemons, how do you make lemonade? So really that's the opportunity right now, is to be really thinking very positively and injecting that positive. You affect your team. You affect the people around you. And if you can inject positivity and happiness and enjoyment and say, hey, let's get in and make the best out of this opportunity, then that is going to lift the average in your organization. Okay, if there's no further questions, I just wanted to get in and quickly talk to everybody. Make sure you're thinking about that. Last thing is this book, The Hard Thing About Hard Things. Please ensure you get this. Find it on it's Ben Horowitz. It's one of my strongest recommendations in terms of for situations like this, to ensure that the leadership team in your organization is reading this book and taking the advice on board in this book. I'm going to read this book again. It's Friday here in Sydney, Australia. I'm going to read this book again, cover to cover this weekend, to make sure that I'm doing absolutely everything that I can for my team and for you guys to help you implement best practices and survive this challenge that's facing us right now. Okay, that's it. Unless anyone's got any questions, I'm going to call this live stream a wrap. So thank you very much. Please, if you haven't taken the opportunity to do this already, head across to our YouTube channel and hit the subscribe button. I'm going to be live streaming quite regularly over the next 2 or 3 weeks. We may run a live stream over the weekend. We'll see how we go. But we'll definitely be back live streaming on Monday in about 48, 50, 60 hours time from now, to basically update everybody and give you some more tips and tricks to help your business work its way through the difficult times that we're in right now, and prepare yourselves really well. So what can you do to prepare if this plays out, and it creates difficulty in your supply chain with your customers, your cash flow, your sales? It means that you can't go and have meetings, you can't do sales calls, you can't serve your customers. Really have a think about what that means and how you can prevent any damage. If people are working from home and they haven't got a lot of work to do, now is a really great time to do professional development and training. We're going to be sending out people access to our training academy. So if you want to reach out to us, we can help you with access to our training academy so that you can keep mentoring your staff as this plays out and work slows down until it all picks back up again. So hey everybody, thanks for listening. My name's Kobe Stearman. I'm the CEO here at Best Practice, and I'll see you next time right here on Best Practice TV. Bye for now.